Okay, so usually I would be doing my Dragon Ball Super episode review, but after tonight's episode, I'm just gonna have to do a in general Dragon Ball Super discussion. Um, and this discussion has to do with a lot that's going wrong with Dragon Ball Super, as it has to go with plot holes, inconsistencies, and let's just call it in general nonsense. And when I say this, when I say these things, I'm bearing in mind that Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z have comedic, whimsical moments. You know, sometimes they have lighthearted, comedic moments that aren't meant to be taken seriously. Sometimes wacky stuff happens and it's not meant to be taken seriously. Not so much in Dragon Ball Z, but more so in Dragon Ball. But what happened tonight went beyond that. So, of course, Bulla was born. But it's not that I have a problem with Bulla being born, of course, because that kind of confirms GT and all the haters that keep on trying to doubt its canicity. You know, you're being proven wrong at every turn. But the way that she was born, it went beyond nonsense. It went beyond whimsical. It went beyond comedic. It was just in that far, far left field of BS. Like, Whis comes up because basically Beerus, Goku, and everyone is having their little war council meeting before they get into the tournament of power, trying to collect up their ranks. And Vegeta still won't budge. He's saying, you know what, I gotta be here. My baby's about to be born. If you have a problem with that, take it up with Bulma, because she's the one who's not giving birth. And Whis just pops up, waves his little staff, and forces Pan to be, Pan, it forces Bulla to be born prematurely. This makes zero sense. Not only with the birth, but I guess randomly he decided to reduce Bulma's baby fat. Like, all of that disappeared too. I guess he put some kind of enchantment that said baby born, baby fat gone, all that, you know, all that good stuff. That makes no sense. That is just terrible writing. And it's stuff like this. Aside from Pan knowing how to fly as an infant, when flying is an ability that you have to train and master, that you have to learn and put cognitive thought behind flying, and Pan being a baby who's incapable of cognitive thought, she's able to just wildly do it and have it mastered. Her mother had to master it. Her father, her uncle, everyone in the San family had to master this technique. In the Son Goku family, I don't know why I said Son, but you get my point. It's moments like this and the birth of Bulla that kind of justify people saying that Dragon Ball Super sucks, even when compared to GT, because you know you have some unwritten rule out there that people follow, that you must say Dragon Ball GT sucks if you want to be a Dragon Ball YouTuber. And I don't follow that. I don't believe in that going with the flow BS. Like, I like GT, especially when I keep seeing moments like this from Dragon Ball Super. Like, I mean, let's try to place this ability in perspective. If Whis could do this, even though it makes no sense and it's just bad writing, why didn't he do this way back in the Battle of Gods arc, when they needed an extra Saiyan and Videl all of a sudden announced that Pan was about to be born, or she's pregnant with Pan and they're gonna have a baby, and they could have foregone all that BS about them holding hands, and because Pan is inside the body of Videl, it all of a sudden counts for that Saiyan. Why didn't Whis just pull the same trick out of his hat and make Pan be born early? Again, it makes no sense. You can't justify that. It's no explaining to it. Like, plot holes. But let's get beyond that. Let's go to the way they treat Vegeta, and Vegeta just coming off as a total beta male in this episode. Because I don't know about you, I don't know any man, especially a Saiyan male, who's not going to be one of the first people besides the mother, because you know the mother holds the baby first, but Vegeta wasn't that next person to hold the child. Everyone else is holding the child, playing with the child, interacting with the child, interacting with Bulla, and Vegeta is just off over there, I mean, stewing and acting angsty and whatnot, and it just comes off as totally non-Vegeta like. He's over there giving off comedic moments because Hercule made Bulla cry, and oh, he's gonna power up to Super Saiyan Blue, and Yamcha makes Bulla cry, and he's gonna power up to Super Saiyan Blue, and I'm like, dude, you're letting everyone else hold your baby first before you. I mean, this is so unbecoming of the Prince of all Saiyans. Like, it just felt so out of place, and I know that sounds nitpicky, and it may come off as nitpicky, but if you consider the character of Vegeta is very out of character for him. And of course, by the end of the episode, you know, he holds her and he wants to name her, and you know, Bulma, she blurts out Bulla, and it's been established, he goes with it, whatever. Oh, happy day. But another thing that they've been doing that I really don't like in Super is that they've been trying to go with the flow of the fans with the way they treat Yamcha. Now let me explain that. Yamcha to the fans, he's always been a joke character because he lost Bulma to Vegeta. That's the only thing. And yeah, he's died quite a few times, but hey, Krillin has probably died more times than Yamcha. But the way that they've been handling Yamcha in Dragon Ball Super, it's like they've been going out of their way. Instead of trying to make Yamcha take himself seriously, they try to make Yamcha a new Hercule. They try to make him a comedy character instead of a character that's trying to take himself seriously as a martial artist, but oh, he gets stacked up against a OP character who owns him in one shot. No, they've completely taken that aspect of Yamcha out and just made him a complete and utter useless character, a useless comic relief character in Dragon Ball Super. And all these things lend themselves to hurting Dragon Ball Super as a whole, in the continuity, with plot holes, with inconsistencies, with the way that characters are going against themselves and acting uncharacteristic. It justifies, again, I've said this before, it justifies people in saying that Dragon Ball Super just isn't there. Now the next thing I'm going to discuss about Dragon Ball Super is that a lot of people went into the Universal Survival arc saying that, look, we got so many rerun episodes of the Battle of Gods arc and a revival of F arcs. The Universe 6 arc was okay, you know, a lot of the fights were boring, but then we got Hit versus Goku, and that sort of made up for it. But then you got to the Goku Black arc, and they did fine in the beginning, and then towards the end they screwed it up, especially with overall continuity, the power levels. But then the way they ended the arc, that sucked with the Goku Black arc. So a lot of people said, you know what, the Universal Tournament of Power, or the Universal Survival arc, it better be perfect from beginning to end. This better knock the ball out the park. And of course they did fine with the preliminaries. I liked it. Majin Buu versus Basil, Gohan versus Lavender, and Goku versus Bergamo. Those were some good fights, and they did fine. They opened up the Universal Survival arc. Everything was cool, and then they hit us with this episode tonight. And not only did this episode hit us, but the way that they're handling the episodes, because now they're wasting a month or 2 months with Goku just going around recruiting people, and it feels like filler time. It feels like there's going to be no real action. It's just going to be Goku going on his little journey every week, wasting time, just stalling out the momentum of the arc, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And it's hurting Dragon Ball Super as a whole, because this arc needs to be dynamite. It needs to be the best arc of Dragon Ball Super, and it needs to be one of the best arcs in the Dragon Ball media, and it's just not achieving that, in my opinion. So let me know what you think in the comment section below. They need to do something with Dragon Ball Super. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Also follow me on Twitch, Twitter as well. And to become a true perfectionist, hit that notification bell right by the subscribe button. You'll see it. And as for me, your host Perfection, I will see you in the next one.